Good morning. Welcome to the 2025 Dream Nations Cup at the American Dream Mall presented by CCM. My name is Will Wiggleman. I am your Director of Broadcasting for this year's tournament. Alongside me, at least for today's game, or this morning's game, is Dylan Balsamo, who will also be calling some games throughout this tournament. And we'll get to him in just a moment, but in case you're new to the Dream Nations, this is a tournament featuring 16 teams representing 12 different nations. We'll start with Men's Division 1. There's also a Men's Division 2 and a Women's Division. So lots of hockey action coming up. 8 games per day for the next 3 days here at the American Dream Mall. And then we'll get to the tournament stage and crown champions on Sunday. But a great week of hockey, Dylan. Thanks for joining us here, and should be a lot of fun. And we started off with Central America against Puerto Rico, but again, this should be a great tournament. It's always great to spotlight these countries that may not necessarily be thought of for hockey around the world.
Well, Will, I will say first, right off the top, I'm over the moon to be here with you. This is so much fun to be a part of. The air here is fantastic. There's an excitement for hockey, and like you talked about, these are nations we don't really think about in terms of hockey players, especially not if you watch at the professional level. So this is just a very exciting thing to see. It's all for the love of the game, and I'm so excited to be a part of it, and I know you are as well.
Now, this is the first time that the Dream Nations Cup has introduced live streaming. That's where I have come in, and it's been very exciting to be a part of. And again, you talked about all that excitement. We could certainly feel it yesterday when all the teams were arriving, checking in, had some nice presentations. We had representatives from the New York Sirens, the New Jersey Devils, the NHL, Elite Prospects. So all kinds of excitement surrounding this tournament. I want to give a quick thanks to Rob Rasula, Ryan Ball, who are really the heads of putting this together. Mike Young as well, but we're getting set again for game number 1. So this is Men's Division 1. This is a 6-team division, and the top 4 will make the tournament round after the round robin. Then there will be a semifinals, 1 versus 4, 2 versus 3, and then bronze medal game and the championship game. So to get off to a quick start for both of these teams and get the win on day 1 will certainly go a long way towards getting to that tournament stage. But this is Central America's second time in the tournament. They went 1-2 in the group stage last year, finishing 5th overall after falling to Indigenous in the quarterfinals. They were quarterfinals in last year's tournament. This is Puerto Rico's first time involved in the Dream Nations Cup. As you see, the Puerto Rican team right there wearing those baby blue jerseys this morning. Central America in all black uniforms. Now, I'll tell you one thing. No matter how the hockey looks throughout this tournament, teams are going to look good. There's some beautiful uniforms throughout the tournament. You may just want to tune in just for that.
And I think it's a result, Will, of seeing some nations that we don't typically see involved with hockey. We're seeing colors we don't typically see involved with hockey. Puerto Rican jersey looking a little bit like the Quebec Nordiques, and then you got a little bit of a Golden State Warriors look on the other side. But it's very fun to watch and look at, and you can just feel the energy here.
So we will pause right now for this morning's national anthems. And those are your anthems ahead of this morning's game between Puerto Rico and Central America. Let's get you who's starting in goal tonight for their respective teams. Starting with the Puerto Ricans, it's going to be Dylan Callahan wearing number 97. Played for the PAL Junior Islanders in the USPHL Premier this season. Also represented Puerto Rico in the most recent Development Cup. On the other side, it's going to be Ricardo Odria, who is representing El Salvador for this Central American team. He was part of the team for last year's Dream Nations and for 3 different LATAM Cups. He does have professional hockey experience in the FPHL from 2017 to 19 with the North Shore Knights, the Port Huron Prowlers, and the Mentor Icebreakers. We got set for our opening face-off here to begin the 2025 Dream Nations Cup. We are underway as Puerto Rico gets the first touch back in their own end. Moved up the near side, Christian Marlin, number 60. Now on the left wing, Roberto Nabosny. Popped out towards the middle of the ice, and Central looks to work back up the other direction. Galen Mendez threw it in, cut off, and floated back out. Humberto Sosa treats in his own end. Long float pass knocked down by a Central American glove. The Puerto Ricans next to touch it, so we play on. Bounce to the line, but not out. Chasing after it now, Dylan Seals, number 14. Near side, Nabosny trying to work his way up ice, ran into his own teammate. Here comes Central. It's Josh Newberg, number 51. His rising shot goes over top of the cage. Pops out. Puerto Rico looks for his own exit, and they get it. But Central America looks to come back. Tossed into Callahan's right. Newberg cut it off on the half wall. Worked back down behind the net. Matthew Castillo got it up to Shea Segay, and he gets it out. Chasing after it in his own end, Donald Pratt under pressure, and Odria forced to make a save. Newberg pulls back, sends a pass across to Pratt. Pratt works his way in, plenty of Puerto Ricans back. Pratt takes a look, and he lost the puck surrounded by baby blue jerseys. Gabriel Pappas after it in his own end, took a hit from Jack Buonato. Back in the neutral zone, Puerto Rico takes back control. Missed pass there, here's Rivas. Moving it around to the near side, Pappas pinches in. Now bumped across to Sam De Leon.
Puerto Rico spending a lot of time in their own zone, but they don't seem particularly uncomfortable with that. There's a certain level of patience that comes with that.
This dump attempt hit a Central American defender. Now here's a chance for Silverio, looking to go around the net, had his stick lifted by Diego Chamberlain. Chamberlain goes D to D behind the net. Long lead pass up. Puerto Rico takes back control. Dumped in by Elian Aksalik. Aksalik off the half wall, takes a look to the net. Shot hit the post on the short side. And there's a good first chance on net for Puerto Rico. They're back in their own end here. Now Central taking over. It's their captain, Robbie Belergian. That pass off the stick of Andrew Prianti. Comes over to the near side boards. Push back out. Nieves whipped it across. Working is Jalen Mendez, number 71. Took a bump from Seals. They're tied up in the corner. And it's pushed back to the point. Sosa tried to let it go, blocked. 4 minutes gone in the opening game of this 2025 Dream Nations Cup. Still searching for the first goal of the tournament. Can Puerto Rico find it here? It's Bryce Jimenez. Arm is up in the air for offsides from one of our two referees on the ice. So Central will get a chance to regroup. Pass to the middle, flagged out by Belargian. Gets to his backhand centering feed, and unable to get a good shot off there was Central America, as Puerto Rico able to clear it out of danger.
And that was a really nice chance there. They weren't able to get it done, Central America, but moving across the ice really well they were there.
There's a steal behind the net, centered out in front. Went all the way through the crease, but nobody home on the other side for Puerto Rico. Back in comes Central to the net. Save Callahan, and he'll clamp the glove on top for a whistle and a face-off. So 4 minutes, 55 seconds gone in the opening game. First impressions of men's Division I.
Well, you know, obviously Central America offensively has had all the chances in this game, but like we talked about earlier, Puerto Rico likes to stay in their pocket. They're very comfortable with playing back in their own zone, a good back check. They've gotten their opportunities. They still have a shot on net, but they don't have anything particularly going yet.
Almost a steal behind the net. Puck popped out to the slot. Puerto Rico trying to scramble, but Josh Newberg able to keep it back deep. Newberg after it in the corner. Spinning. Newberg tried to backhand it all the way across. That was cut off nicely. Loaded in. Here comes Puerto Rico, but Bosny had it poked off his stick. Brian Ruiz took a spill. Tried to get back to that puck. Central looking to work up. And sent back to Ruiz. Hustling his way to Puerto Rico territory. His long-range shot blocked. That hit Liam Resto, number 44. Led on and kicked in by Marlin. Up comes Central the other way. Reyes gave it away. Here's Santiago Dame, he scores! Off the turnover, Makai Santiago Dame has the first goal of the tournament. Puerto Rico up 1-0.
And this is obviously a guy you can just see from the way he moves around the ice. He's got a lot of pop, he's got a lot of speed. You can see why he's such a catalyst offensively for this team. Played for the 18U AAA team this season for Bigby Coffee. And you can see he's a goal scorer, and obviously that's going to work for Puerto Rico here early on.
So despite all the pressure from Central America, Puerto Rico gets on the board first. Here they are looking for more. That shot tipped out of play by Odria, as coming right down Main Street was Dylan Seals. Maybe some energy here for the Puerto Ricans after the goal.
And you know, they say the best way to get momentum is to get on the board. Obviously, you're going to score. The game's in your favor. So Puerto Rico will hope to capitalize on that here in the rest of the first period.
They go back to work in the offensive zone. Seals try to put it down on net. It was blocked and ends up caroming to neutral ice. Santiago Dame, the unassisted goal, the first one here in this tournament, as Central America has iced the puck. And of course, this is a tournament for countries who are not well known for hockey, which means we may have some first-time hockey fans. In case you are curious what icing is, if you send the puck down all the way down to the other end, past the goal line from your own side of that red line that splits the ice in half, that is called an icing, and the face-off comes all the way down to your zone. Puerto Rico trying to take advantage of that, but the shot towards the net was blocked. Castillo back on it. Sent down low. Castillo, the defenseman, in deep. Works it up high. Fanning on the shot there was Sam De Leon, sent all the way down. And negating the icing here is Jalen Mendez. So another part of the icing rule, if your team gets to the puck first, when it crosses that goal line, you can actually negate the icing call. So they say hustle pays off. Hustle certainly pays off when negating icings.
And you talk about first-time hockey fans, I'd say even for us long-time hockey viewers, the rules of icing changed a couple years ago. It's tough to remember sometimes.
Here's Bill Largerian with a shot. That was stopped, and the rebound pushed behind the net. Puck sent all the way back to Central's territory, but does not reach the goal line, so no icing. Puerto Rico finishing up a change. Weaving up is Sosa. Trying to dangle around Jimenez. Sosa from the outside, sent it all the way across. Couldn't hook up with Quinton Jamison. Jamison a shot. Punched out by Callahan. Puck's loose. And it's pulled out of danger by the Puerto Ricans. Kept in for a moment and then knocked out of the zone. 7 minutes left to go in period one. 1-0 Puerto Rico.
Some really acrobatic efforts there from the Puerto Rican goalie, Dylan Callahan.
Jamison on net, stopped by Callahan. And the rebound scooped up by Atanasio. Now Central looks to regroup. Reyes chased out from behind his own net. Moved it up to Jamison, little tap pass back. Belladrian on the outside, couldn't find the short side as he went top corner. Kept in the zone. Puerto Rico looking for escape, comes down low and unable to pull it to his forehand was Mendez all alone right in front. Good job by Seals to get back to defend. Now Reyes makes a move, but couldn't pull the puck all the way through. And here comes Thomas Miller. His shot off the bar. Miller looking to make it 2-0 Puerto Rico, but that's their second post of this first period. Some trouble in the defensive zone for Puerto Rico, but a good play there to get it out by Nieves. Here's Nabozny, handing off from Miller. He spun down to the ice. Bounced to the line, but not out. Good keep by Castillo. Nabozny overskated it. And now it's Pratt up the left wing side. 4 Central Americans on this rush, but Pratt left it behind, and now Puerto Rico looks for a counter. 2-on-1. Pass across. They go back. Miller couldn't slide it through. Odria got the stick down. Odria got the stick down. Now 2-on-1 the other way. Newberg across. It's kicked out by Callahan. Ruiz couldn't get a good shot away, and then a nice block there by Nabozny, sacrificing the body. Up and down action here. It's Marlin. Had it poked off his stick. Followed up. But Santiago Dame couldn't bring it through. How about that person? Things opening up a little bit.
Yeah, right?
Puerto Rico still on the attack. Shot from the slot, pushed just wide by Buenado. He's back on it. Had it taken away though. Kept in at the line, sent towards the net. Good block by Chamberlain. And all Central can do is just toss it out of the zone. Back in comes Puerto Rico. Pass across and unable to control it there was Santiago Dame. Left wing, it's Chamberlain. He's taken into the boards. Buenado just bounces it out. 4 minutes left to go in period number 1. Shot 7-5 Central, but it's a 1-0 lead for Puerto Rico. Santiago Dame, the only goal scorer. Tosses it right in on Odria. And he blockers it over to the near side corner. Knocked to the line, but not out. Nieves couldn't dangle through. Moved up the left wing. Here comes Nieves. He was surrounded. Puck pops below the goal line. First one on it is Sosa. Arm up in the air. Looks like a penalty coming up against Central America as Puerto Rico gets another shot and another post. That one off the outside of the post. Callahan's on the bench for the extra attacker during the delayed penalty. As Jamison takes away that pass, we will get the call here with under 3 to go in period 1. And we get our first power play opportunity for Puerto Rico, and it is a high sticking call.
And another thing to note for our fans who may be first-time viewers is why play kept going on when a penalty had been called. Basically what happens there is that the team the penalty is called on, until they touch the puck, play will continue. That's why the goalie came out of the net to get the extra attacker for Puerto Rico.
So it's a 2-minute power play for the Puerto Ricans. They will have a 5-on-4 advantage as far as players on the ice. And a rule that longtime hockey fans may not know. Central gets a good chance short-handed. Here's a shot, save Callahan. And he'll hang on as Mendez got the shot away. But a rule that's being used in this tournament, is used in women's hockey, is the jailbreak rule. So if a team scores short-handed, like Central America almost did right there, then their man comes out of the penalty box. Now that only applies to minor penalties, not majors, but still that could apply here, and that may have almost applied. Minute 20 left on the power play for Puerto Rico. Santiago Dame, a shot gloved and held by Odria.
You can tell by the way he's shooting, he wants that second goal.
Sixth save of this opening period for Rick Odria. As we get set for a face-off to his left. Both teams making changes. 1:16 left on the power play for Puerto Rico. Nabozny won the face-off back. Pushed to the line. Santiago Dame takes a look over his shoulders. He's blanketed by a Central American defender. Able to just keep that puck in. Now it escapes the zone. Newberg hustling after Santiago Dame. Santiago Dame able to escape the veteran Newberg. The 19-year-old Santiago Dame against the 38-year-old Josh Newberg on that play. It's lofted back out by Central America once again. Nice move by Miller, flying in. Bumps it to the outside, Nabozny. Nieves looks through, deflected, save, Odria. And he'll hang on for a whistle and a face-off. Well, we talked about the good push by Central to start this game. Puerto Rico gets the first goal, and now they've looked a lot better in the back half of this opening period. 27 seconds left on their first power play of the game.
It has been pretty much their game ever since they scored that goal. We've only had like 3 stoppages of play. And, you know, really within the last 10 minutes, it's pretty much been all Puerto Rico.
Shea Segay being asked to leave the face-off, which is something referees may do if somebody's not cooperating and lining up the way they're supposed to on one side or the other. May ask the centerman to leave the face-off. There's a pass across the one-timer, and Marlin didn't get nearly as much of it as he wanted. Look behind the Puerto Rico net. Mendez coming in to cause some trouble. Penalty has expired, so Central 1 for 1 on the PKs. We hit the final minute of period 1. Right wing, it's Marlin. Taking a look across, and a good stick there by Central. Able to knock that play away. Clinton Jamison trying to work through. Mendez just sends it over to the near side. Reyes had to come back for it. Popped out to the middle of the ice. And now Central able to escape their own zone. Pratt couldn't work his way in. Puerto Rico with 20, in no hurry to head up ice. Late pass by Resto, ends up near the red line, tossed in. And the final seconds ticking off this first period, although may have an icing call. Looks like an icing call here, must have done it from his own side of center. in case you were curious, we can't really see exactly the near side boards. You see Team Puerto Rico there with the 1-0 lead, just a few seconds left in period one. They'll have to defend a face-off to Dylan Callahan's left. One back, Jamison, a shot, kick save, Callahan. And that will take us to the horn. Great last chance for Central, but after one, it is 1-0 Puerto Rico. We will take a quick break, and when we come back, period two here from the American Dream Mall with Puerto Rico up 1-0 on Central America. Back here at the American Dream Mall, we are just getting set for period number two between Puerto Rico and Central America. And Makai Santiago Dame has the only goal so far. Puerto Ricans up 1-0. That was a nice opening 20 minutes here, Dylan.
Absolutely. Obviously, after the first 5 minutes, Puerto Rico pretty much dominated everything. We had an exciting middle five there that was back and forth, quite a few chances on either side. And don't discount Dylan Callahan. 9 really nice saves in that first period.
So 15 more minutes up on the clock, not 20, as we were playing 15-minute periods throughout this entire tournament. Central America looking for an offensive chance. Handed up, sent to the middle, shot! And off the post behind Callahan, he's able to cover up.
Oh man, that's about as close as you get there, Will.
It was Mendez who let it rip from the slot. Went glove side on Callahan, hit the post, and Callahan sprawling, able to find it behind him and cover up.
He's had quite a few, and we talked about this, acrobatic efforts in that first period, and you saw it there too. If you're new to this game, make no mistake, being a goaltender is not just sitting there and blocking shots. It is a full body gig.
Another face-off to Callahan's right after that puck popped up out of play off the next face-off. This Central American team made up of players from multiple different countries. There's some representing El Salvador, Nicaragua, Honduras, Guatemala, Panama, among others. And this shot goes just wide of Callahan. Turnaround try, that was blocked on the way through and then pushed just through the crease by Jamison. Santiago Dame bounces it behind the net to Nieves. Chased there by Jamison. And now it's worked up. A block there at the red line by Sosa. There's a push back in, but offside at the line. There's another rule that comes up for your first-time hockey fans. Offside, you cannot go into the offensive zone before the puck does. So once the puck goes in, then you can go in, but if you precede the puck, then it gets whistled down when your teammate carries it in.
You know what's interesting about hockey, Will, is there's really only 3 ways plays can stop, and we've pretty much seen them all so far. But, other than that, pretty straightforward game.
Puerto Rico trying to move it up the near side wall. That's cut off. Ruiz couldn't get much on it. And now working out is Nabozny at the red line. Takes a look, gets in, drops it off. The shot by Marlin was blocked on the way through. Here comes Central with a chance. Ruiz gave it off to the outside. Shot on net. Save Callahan. The rebound. They score. Josh Newberg following up the play has tied it for Central America.
And that play developed really, really quickly there. And that's how we got to Newberg's 4th career goal in Dream Nation's play. And you knew that Central America was going to respond at some point. They've had a lot of great opportunities. They've had a pretty good start to this period. And now we're all even up here at the Dream Mall.
The veteran Josh Newberg has played his last 7 years in the FPHL Pro Hockey this season with HC Venom and the Danbury Hat Tricks. And you knew he was going to be a guy that would be leaned on by Central America for some offense, and he provides it there. Their first goal of the tournament. Again, 3 last year for him in the Dream Nations. Central looking for more as Newberg couldn't touch that one towards the cage. Reyes, a shot deflected by Newberg and wide. Newberg to the net, kicked out by Callahan. Reyes behind that, centering feed, Newberg, and knocked down, and Callahan couldn't cover. Atanasio all the way around. Reyes off the near side boards. Ruiz chasing after it, but Karams to neutral ice. Ruiz dumps it right back in. Callahan waits for it there. Trying to move it away from the oncoming Rivas. Fresh off the bench, Central America in cycling deep. Sent down in front, and the shot stopped by Callahan. He didn't know where it was, but he has it underneath him for a whistle and a face-off, and now Central with a big push after the goal. As it's Newberg, and they're giving the assist to Liam Guerin, number 18. And Guerin, the son of former NHLer and current Minnesota Wild general manager Bill Guerin. He picks up the helper on the goal by Newberg. Nieves trying to stick handle his way free. Sends a lead pass towards Prianti. Loose puck in the neutral zone. Nieves looking in right wing. It's the middle, is shot kicked out by Odria. High flip, lands right on the stick of Seals. Pappas able to dump it in for Central. Chasing after is Mendez. First one on in the corner, tried to put it out in front. That was knocked away. Moved around to the near side, Chamberlain. Up the boards, out of the zone. Belargian takes a look. Castillo with him the whole way, gives it up. Chamberlain walks in, his shot on the short side, blockered by Callahan. Belargian, pass off, shot towards the net, deflected off the side of the cage. Fired over, Mendez. They will spin off of some pressure. Hands it off to the point. Belargian walks in, back to Mendez. And he couldn't get anything on that shot. They have handcuffed him a little bit as it came in. Central still buzzing in the offensive zone. Mendez turns the corner at the top. Tried to send a shot through, that was blocked in Puerto Rico. Finally with a chance to clear the defensive end. That shot knocked down by Odria. Penalty coming up And we will get our second Puerto Rico power play of the game as hooking the signal from the referee.
That comes just as Puerto Rico is really getting its first opportunity of the period. We're 5 minutes into the second period, and we had not played any time in the other side of the rink yet. So a good time for this to be happening if you're them.
Huge opportunity for Puerto Rico to get some momentum back after it's been all Central for the first nearly 5 minutes of this second period. But off the faceoff, here come the Central Americans. They dump it in short-handed. Guerin after it. Guerin centered, looking for Newberg, and Puerto Rico able to come back in numbers. Lead pass, and Buenado couldn't bring it in as he was trying to split the defense. Back to the top, Santiago Dame. Puerto Rico sets up. Nieves, Santiago Dame takes the shot. Glove save by Odria, and he'll hang on. Central America certainly aggressive on the PK, as we've seen.
I mean, the team that can, really strike as quickly as Puerto Rico does, you kind of have to be like that. Any moment they can turn this game right back around in their favor.
Off the draw, Nieves takes a look, his shot, and another glove save by Odria.
That was a nice swipe of the glove by Odria there. What incredibly quick reflexes you have to be a goaltender at the top level.
Off this draw, Newberg able to clear it all the way down. Callahan sweeps it over to the near side. Buenado back behind his own net, and he'll start it up. Lost it, Newberg shot, and Callahan comes up with a big save as Josh Newberg looking for his second of this frame. Walking in, a shot saved by Odria. 48 seconds left on the Puerto Rico power play. Now Bosny walks to the top. Had to give it up for Santiago Dame. Santiago Dame on the half wall. Pushed up top. Miller down Main Street. His shot was blocked partially on the way through. Puerto Rico still with it. Floated up to the point. Santiago Dame takes a look. Takes the shot, and Odria sprawling a little bit, able to glove it and hang on. 15 seconds left on this Puerto Rico power play. It's really starting to set up here.
And obviously 15 seconds is only enough time to, if you're lucky, 2.5 shots maybe. I don't know what half a shot means, but you know what I mean. They're going to have to do this quickly if they still want to do this with the extra man.
They get to the point. Walking in, shot blocked on the way through. And one last clear from Central America, and that will do it for the second Puerto Rico power play of this game. The Puerto Ricans 0 for 2 on the man advantage. We're still tied 1-1. We're nearly at the midway point of this game. Drop pass taken away. Here comes Central America on the counterattack. Mendez to the net, save Callahan. Rebound, centered, and got through everyone to the point. Reyes, little curl and drag, and his shot goes over top of the cage, hit the glass. And Karen back in front. Puerto Rico finally able to take over. That pass hit a body. Mendez keeps it in and gets it back down deep. Central back on the attack. Backdoor feed, and that one wouldn't go for Mendez. Mendez back on it. Works his way up top. Handoff. Shot from the outside, gloved and held by Callahan. And the arm is up in the air for a penalty against Puerto Rico. Hooking is the call. Central America to its first man advantage of the game, and the chance to take its first lead of this morning's game.
And this is really not a Central America team you want to give any sort of advantage at all. it's a 1-1 game right now, but if few pucks bounce a different way, this could be 3-1, 4-1 right now. So this is really a chance for them to pounce on this opportunity.
A big Central America power play. A chance again to take their first lead of the game. Newberg wins the faceoff back, and Central sets up. Pratt a shot, whipped it wide. Puck stuck up on the back of the cage. They're able to get it free back on the ice, and Central takes back over. Newberg turns towards the net, takes a look, fed it down low. One-timer in front. And that was kicked out by Callahan as Guerin got a chance. Guerin set up right in front as Newberg shot blocked. Puerto Rico able to get to it. Can't get it out though. Guerin tried a back pass. Now Pratt working down the boards. Pratt up top, walks, takes the shot, didn't get all the way through. Belargian across the shot, sprawling save by Callahan. That was Reyes coming down the backside who got a good opportunity. Newberg behind the net. Halfway through this Central America power play. Up from the outside by Sosa, missed wide along the ice. Reyes, Belargian, center, Newberg scores! Second of the period for Josh Newberg, and Central America has its first lead of the morning.
And you can just see he was right in that slot right there, placed that shot perfectly, but also with the speed that shot was coming off his puck, he could have put it right in his chest, and there was no way that that puck was getting stopped. He has an unbelievably quick flick of the wrist, Newberg does, and that's why he has his second goal of the game.
And a great pass as well by the Central American captain, Robbie Belargian, representing Panama at 6 points in 4 games during last year's Dream Nations. And played in the ECHL this season. Former 5th round pick of the Ottawa Senators, 31-year-old Robbie Belargian. Central just able to get that one over the line as it bounced over Santiago Dame's stick. Puerto Rico looking to tie the game here. Pappas able to muscle off his man. Buenado has it. Up top to Seals. Sent it through and missed wide. Karams to Nieves. Couldn't center. Santiago Dame escapes Juarez. Comes out from behind the net, tried to turn it, and sent it right through the crease off the corner boards. Walking in is Buenado, and his shot off the back glass. Rebound Nieves, sent it right through. Seals towards the cage, that was blocked. Turnaround try by Santiago Dame, also didn't get through to Odria. This one sent all the way down, and icing called against Central America. But this is exactly the type of response you wanted if you were Puerto Rico after giving up that second goal of the game.
And Puerto Rico seems to be a team that, more than other teams you'll see, builds so much upon momentum. This is a sport that relies upon momentum to get your goals. It's how these things happen. You know, obviously, in the first period, they were able to get their momentum by scoring, and then they held control of pretty much the rest of the first period. And now they're going to try and do that in reverse almost.
So Belargian and Reyes get the assist on the goal by Newberg as that howitzer whistles wide and comes all the way back out to the neutral zone. Resto starts his way up ice. On the right wing, it's sent in by Atanasio. Miller tried to center, sits in the crease. Odria trying to cover, and he does.
Great effort by Odria there in traffic, too.
Stick taps from his bench for that effort. Miller couldn't send it towards the net, and Odria forced to make a save on a goal line shot from Marlin. Belargian. Curlin try, gets in, and a save, Callahan. Belargian back on it. Up top, Sosa. Back to Belargian. He gave it away. Puerto Rico has a man streaking. They tried to get it to him, but it just bounced away. That was Miller who was flying the zone. Thomas Miller, the 19-year-old out of West Babylon, New York, trying to stretch things out and get himself a breakaway, but just hopped over his stick. Instead, Puerto Rico will have to settle for an offensive zone face-off. Newberg able to win this face-off away from Alex De Leon. Guerin made a pass that was taken away. Fired over to the far side, Guerin on it. Up the right wing side. Guerin saved, Callahan the rebound. Pushed by Newberg, but couldn't get it back on net. Josh Newberg looking for a hat trick in this second period. Popped out, Guerin one-timer. That one whistles past the post. Castillo back on it for Puerto Rico. Able to just get that one out. Chamberlain regroups for Central America. Now it's moved up off the stick of Exelic. He's back on it. Sent it across to help, fresh off the bench. That was Rivera, but it got through him. Nieves comes back to defend. Now in comes Puerto Rico. They can't enter the offensive zone. Newberg tried to toss it up. That ends up in the Puerto Rico bench out of play.
Central America at 21 shots now, and what you can notice from them here in the second period especially is they like that moving set piece. They like to set up the one-timer right in the slot, right up front. It's just one-on-one with you and the netminder at that point. They really like that, and it's worked so far for them.
Offensive zone face-off here for Puerto Rico. It's one back by Central. Moved up the near side boards. Kept just in at the line, finally knocked out. Puerto Ricans looking to come right back in, but they can't. Loose puck rolling over towards the far side. Pratt able to get there first, and he dumps it in from the red line. Seals with under 2 to go in period 2. Central America with a 2-1 lead on Puerto Rico in the opening game of the 2025 Dream Nations Cup. Here's Jimenez for Puerto Rico. Had his pocket picked. Up comes Central America. Reyes weaves his way in. Reyes on the outside. All the way around the cage. Put it out in front. They score. Eric Rivas on the receiving end of that pass. But it was Sergio Reyes who did it all. And Central America has a 3-1 lead. 39-year-old Rivas, who has played professional roller hockey in his career, had 3 points in last year's Dream Nations. Able to get that goal going to the right spot, but again, got to give credit to Sergio Reyes, who picks up his second assist of this period, going end-to-end on that play.
And obviously Reyes, this is a guy who really likes to do that type of thing. Had an assist last year in the Dream Nations, and you know, that's the kind of guy you really love to play with. He does all the work for you.
Central America with an insurance marker here late in period 2. Lead pass looking for Mendez. It's out of his reach, but he'll win the race to negate the icing. The blind back pass out in front was taken away by Atanasio.
Really important that Puerto Rico gets another opportunity here before the period's over.
Here is one 3-on-3, but Buonato couldn't get the puck to the net. Wrapped around the boards, Resto, his shot blocked. And here comes Central with another chance. Backhand shot over top of the cage. And up comes Puerto Rico. Resto, they will toss it out. Belargian puts it back in. And now Resto after with 24 to go in period 2. Bounced out by Puerto Rico. Try and spin it in deep. Sosa looking for it. Hassled. Sosa able to escape. He'll get back on the puck and just try and hang on to it to get to the horn, and we get there. 3-1 Central America through 30 minutes of play, 15-minute periods. Shots on goal favoring Central 22-19. A 2-goal lead heading into period number 3. We will be right back here from the Dream Nations Cup at the American Dream Ball. And just one quick note here for you for this second intermission. It seems that we are getting an ice cut here on the ice at the American Dream Mall. So Zamboni will be out. So this will be a bit of a longer intermission than the first one. But please do stick around. An exciting conclusion from our opening game of the Dream Nations Cup. We'll be back shortly after we get a fresh sheet of ice. So don't go anywhere. Welcome back here to the Dream Nations Cup from the American Dream Mall in New Jersey. My name is Will Wiggleman alongside Dylan Balsamo for this opening game between Central America and Puerto Rico. And the Central Americans, with a 3-goal second period, have a 3-1 lead as we head into the third. Dylan, what have been your thoughts on this game so far?
Well, it's a cliche we use in hockey a lot when we come into a third period, when we call something the tale of two periods. But I think it's a pretty accurate description of what we've seen so far to this point. First 5 minutes of the game were pretty much a Central America-dominated ice rink. And then Puerto Rico scored, and then they controlled pretty much the rest of the first period. Then we come back out for the second 15. Central America gets on a roll, and all of a sudden they're up 3-1. They score 3 straight goals, 2 of them from Newberg, and all of a sudden we're in a completely different situation. Puerto Rico tried to get something going at the end of the second period. They couldn't really get it done, and now we'll see what happens here in the third.
Central America getting 2 goals from Josh Newberg, 1 from Eric Rivas in that second period. Puerto Rico's goal from the first belonging to Micaiah Santiago Dame, and that is where we stand as we drop the puck on period 3 of our opening game of the 2025 Dream Nations Cup. This is, of course, Men's Division 1, 2 men's divisions this year, a 6-team Division 1 and a 4-team Division 2, and of course the 6-team Women's Division as well. Here's Puerto Rico looking to pull within a goal early in the third. Shot by Nieves is stopped by Odria. The rebound also stopped by the veteran netminder. Nieves back forward in his own end. Try to send it up to the neutral zone. Central works it right back in. Shot from the outside, swallowed up by Callahan. And we'll get our first whistle and face-off of this third period. But certainly the 2 goals by Newberg. You have to highlight Sergio Reyes, a couple of helpers for him, including going end-to-end on that Rivas goal. Representing El Salvador, Sergio Reyes has already doubled his assist total from last year's Dream Nations. Newberg with the face-off win, shot towards the net, steered away by Callahan. Up comes Puerto Rico. Work in the shot save, Odria. And he'll hang on to it with that left glove hand.
And both netminders in this game had just about 20 saves. And both of them having excellent games. You see 3 goals on the board for Central America. You think that's indicative of Dylan Callahan. It's really not. He has looked very, very good. Central America's just had some wonderful chances here.
And a couple of backside plays for Central America, giving them some goals. That rising shot by Santiago Dame finds the protective netting out of play over the glass. Talk about that Rivas goal, a real backdoor play. The Newberg one was a power play goal, a power play goal that came off a pass from the one side of Callahan to the other. He had to slide across, and Newberg able to put it home. But yes, you mentioned Callahan, a good game, but a couple of tough goals for Central. Here's Puerto Rico trying to jam away. Odria 2 and 3 saves in tight. Shot by Resto hit Newberg up high. And back comes Guerin the other direction. All by himself, he'll dump it in and head off for a change. Couple of big saves by Odria, keeping Puerto Rico at bay. They'll look to push again. It's poked by the Central Americans out of the zone. Puerto Rico in the midst of a change. Floated over to the near side. Central America doing a great job keeping Puerto Rico on at least their side of the red line. Aksalek retreating to his own end. Goes up the left wing looking for Castillo. That didn't work. Reyes trying to push his way by. Lost the handle, got the puck out of the zone though. Castillo up to Marlin. Right wing, it's Rivera. All right, he couldn't bring it in down the wall. Pratt able to work his way out. Harassed from behind, Pratt gets in, still with it. Pratt, a shot kicked out. Rebound. And that one blocked on the way through. Callahan, another save on the long range try. Put it back out in front. Belargian jamming away. Now it's Mendez all the way around. In front, Belargian loads it up, takes the shot off a stick, and up out of play with Callahan sprawling.
That one looked like it might have tipped the crossbar too. That is another really close call on Central America. We mentioned this before they jumped up 3-1. When it was 1-1, that it could have been easily a 4-1 game if a few pucks had bounced a different way. And that continues to be the case. This could be 5-1 if, a few things go differently.
Central America looking to add to this 2-goal lead. And it's rimmed all the way around. Sosa first down it on the near side. Pinching in, the defenseman had it poked off his stick. Puerto Rico looks to escape the zone, but that pass split a couple of Puerto Rican players. Dumped in by Nieves, sticked away Iodria to the corner. 11 minutes left to go in period 3. Set to Jamison. He tried to touch it in deep, couldn't do it cleanly. And a penalty coming up against Puerto Rico, slashing the call. And Central America will go back to the power play. They're 1-for-1 on the man advantage so far. And a goal here really to make it feel like they're putting the game away. The way Central America's been playing. And especially think about those big saves Odria made early on in this period. Puerto Rico got off to a hot start in the third. Now Central America with a chance. Again, make it a 3-goal game, and that feels like it would be a high mountain for Puerto Rico to climb at this point. It's Nieves in the box. As Newberg handed it off. Sosa turns the corner all the way around, tried the wrap. That didn't work. And up comes Nabozny shorthanded. 2 Central Americans back. Nabozny throws on the brakes. And now he'll skate back towards his own end, trying to rag that puck and waste some time. Puerto Rico back on it. It's Nabozny again. Minute 13 left on the Central America power play. Newberg applies a poke. One sent out of the zone. Pratt back for it. We saw him skate through a few Puerto Ricans earlier in this period. This time he throws on the brakes, drops it off. Belargian the trailer. Forced back to the boards. Belargian to Pratt. Takes a look, fanned on the shot, but he's able to get a pass down low. Here comes Miller shorthanded. Has Santiago Dame hustling to join him, or Dame, pardon me, hustling to join him. Miller couldn't push it towards the middle of the ice. 33 seconds left on the Central American power play. Newberg weaves in, working on Seals. Josh Newberg around the net. Had Guerin tapping his stick looking for the pass. Instead, Newberg got all the way to the blue line before feeding it down low to Liam Guerin. Resto on his backhand, couldn't get past the leaping Newberg. Final seconds ticking off is Central America power plays. It's center, Newberg a turnaround chance. And Callahan the save, back to 5-on-5. Newberg able to poke it down low. Belargian in front, they score! Sneaking in from the line, Oscar Huezo with the 4th goal for Central America. A beautiful look there from the corner as Belargian gets his second helper of the morning.
Moiso, one of the veterans on this Central American team, able to get on the board here. This has been a very eventful and, if you're Central America, successful first game of this Dream Nations Cup so far. 4 goals, and they look red hot.
Puerto Rico scored first, the only goal of the opening period, but it's been all Central on the board since. Puck popped out in front. Puerto Rico trying to clear. And now Central takes over, sent towards the net, blocked up by a couple of bodies, and skied all the way down. Sosa hustling after it. A couple of players collide. Sent to the line, set down low, and Alex De Leon couldn't get a good tip on it. Chasing back after it is Atanasio. Under 8 minutes left to go in the third. Atanasio, an outside shot, save the rebound. Miller couldn't control it well enough to put it straight back on net. That gave Odria enough time to come all the way back to make the save. So Newberg and Belargian get the assists on the goal by Hueso. That's a 3-point night for Josh Newberg. Puck glove down, Belargian pops it out for Jamison. Fired around, Rivera chasing after it. Play it right into Belargian. Got it to Mendez. Actually didn't get it all the way through. Good step by Nieves. This one looks to be offside at the Central America line with 7:12 left to go. In period number 3, a 4-1 Central America lead.
And they've continued to look so strong, Central America has offensively. You talk about Newberg, but it's really been every shift they put on the ice.
Shot by Askalik blocked. Puerto Rico still working in the offensive end. Askalik trying to come off the wall. Nieves, pass all the way across. Delayed penalty coming up against Central America. And Puerto Ricans just couldn't keep it in there at the line, so that will draw the whistle and will get the call. Puerto Rico to its third power play of this game. They're 0 for 2 so far and certainly need a goal here with less than 7 minutes to go.
Certainly will. At some point you do have to start capitalizing, even if you want to stay in a game. Puerto Rico is certainly by no means a bad team or a weak team, but, they are down 4-1 right now, under 7 minutes to play. So if there's time to pounce, it was 5 minutes ago, but right now would be a good time too.
Jamison, the one in the box for Central America, representing Honduras, and played some senior hockey, the Ontario Senior Hockey League from 2022 to 24. Quentin Jamison, the 30-year-old. They'll have to watch his team defend, and they get off to a good start, sending that puck all the way down. Nabozny tried to weave his way in. He was surrounded. Mendez knocked down. Central America bench up in arms, looking for a penalty they won't get. Buenato back behind the net to Nabozny. Central America able to take that one away and fire it down ice. Minute 22 left on the penalty, hooking the call against Jamison. Santiago Dame weaving his way in. Taken away, and all the way down goes the puck. Josh Newberg with the clear, and he heads off to the bench. Under 6 to play in this one as Santiago Dame curls back up to Nieves. Across, Santiago Dame back on it. Gets over the blue line, makes a move, and had it slip away from him. Pratt up the glass, kept alive though. Moved across. Miller had his shot blocked. Another clear from Central America. A delayed penalty coming up. Looks like it's coming against Puerto Rico. That will even things up. Santiago Dame knew exactly what he did. Things may be getting a little bit testy here.
You know, obviously when you're down 3, especially in this first game, things can get frustrating, and not saying anyone's losing their tempers by any sense, but it just gets incredibly frustrating. You just want to start something. You just want to get that momentum back that you had in the first period. And
Santiago Dame sits 2 minutes for slashing. He and Jamison barking between those 2 penalty boxes. Jamison has 32 seconds left on his call. We get 4-on-4 hockey for those 32 seconds, and then it'll be an abbreviated Central America power play. Belargian first down in the corner. Sent it up high to Soso. Just did everything he could to keep it alive, and now it's poked away. Here comes Puerto Rico. A shot fanned on by Jimenez. And Jimenez's stick actually failed him. Up comes Central America the other way. Some more open ice in the 4-on-4. Resto trying to take advantage. Passed off. Outside try, knocked down. Puck stays in play. Puerto Rico looking to head north as the penalty is over for Central America, so now Central is on a power play for the next minute and 10 seconds. Now 1 for 2 so far. Belargian poked it around to the near side. Reyes able to keep it in. Reyes all the way up top to Belargian. Fired a pass across. Now Reyes taking a look behind the net. Centering feed. Guerin just poked it wide, and then Reyes fired off the outside of the net. But back down low. Guerin cycling. 30 seconds left on this Central America power play. That pass went awry, and they have to chase it all the way back to their own end. Belargian had it poked off his stick. Hueso around to the near side. Reyes. Lead pass. Hueso had his feed knocked away by a Puerto Rican stick. Fresh off the bench, shorthanded, it's Buenado, and he was surrounded. Back to 5-on-5 now, as the penalty has expired. Miller trying to bring in that puck, couldn't grab it. Miller again, his pass behind Santiago Dame. 3 minutes left to go in this one as Odria able to shoulder that one aside. Nieves at the point. Walks, try to feed it down low. Santiago Dame working it up top. Shot towards the net, save Odria through traffic. Buenado turning the corner, working on Pappas. Buenado centering feed. Santiago Dame didn't get that one all the way through. That was blocked by the man right in front. Penalty coming up here against Central, as a Puerto Rican player was knocked down. So Puerto Rico with another power play opportunity. 2:18 left to go in this one. A 3-goal Central America lead.
it looks like it's Reyes going to the penalty box. And we know how essential he is on the ice. He can go north to south, coast to coast, up and down, all the way around. However you want to say it, he can go across the ice so quickly. So obviously, that's a big loss to not have him for 2 minutes. But, with 2:18 to go, I think Central America feel pretty good.
Well, they get to work on the PK just a little bit longer. Josh Newberg taking the draw for Central America. Roberto Nabozny for Puerto Rico. Nieves kept it in at the line. Sent it across, looking for Miller. Puerto Rico has pulled the netminder for an extra attacker. It'll be a 6-on-4 advantage for Puerto Rico, trying to get 3 to tie this game. As that shot off a body, Karen's behind the nets. But back out in front, went right across the goal line and wouldn't go over it. Under 2 to play. Holding officially the call against Sergio Reyes while he's sitting in the penalty box. For those new to hockey, sometimes teams will pull their netminder for an extra attacker late in a game when they're desperate for a goal to try and tie, or a goal or 2 or 3. Nieves, rising shot, missed on the short side. Santiago Dame keeps it alive. Gets it right back. At the top, his shot stopped and held by Odria with that glove hand.
And some good shots coming here in this 6-on-4 for Puerto Rico. At this point with only, 75 seconds left in the game, it's probably too little too late, but at least some good looks. And, you talk about Central America working on the penalty kill. At least Puerto Rican got some good shots in before their next game.
Jack Buonato lines up for the draw for Puerto Rico. He lost it to Belargian. Santiago Dame at the point. Walks in, his shot couldn't find a friendly stick to deflect it. We approach the final minute of this one. 4-1 Central America. Buonato makes a move, gets to the slot, his shot. Didn't get it on net, I don't believe. Nieves backpedaling. Miller, a shot deflected wide. Don't think that was going on net at all, even if it wasn't deflected. Santiago Dame shot stopped. Turnaround try, and Odria able to scoop it up off the ice with that glove and hang on for a whistle and a face-off with 33.3 seconds left to go in this one. And it looks like in all likelihood Central America is going to start off this tournament with a victory. Only went 1-2 in the round robin play last year. Finished 5th in the men's division, but you finish 5th in the men's division 1 this year, you will not get to the tournament stage. Now, this win, certainly a great start for Central, but the work not over for them. As Belargian looking towards the empty cage, and he missed it wide. Puerto Rico back on behind their own net. Dylan Seals gets it out. Goes all the way down. Odria will play it to negate the icing. That's going to do it. Central America wins the opening game of the 2025 Dream Nations. And they start off on the right foot in Men's Division 1. Your final 4-1 for the Central Americans. And Josh Newberg announced as the MVP of the game. 2 goals and an assist for him. For Central America, after giving up the first one of the game, they come back and they score the final 4 goals to get the win over Puerto Rico.
Well, obviously it's a great effort all around for Central America. Puerto Rico obviously has nothing to be ashamed of. They had a really good first period, couldn't keep it going after that. But a really good game for the Central Americans. It's a no-brainer to have Newberg as the MVP. But the unsung hero of this game is really Odria. 26 saves, a lot of them in haphazard situations. He kept his cool, only gave up the 1 goal, and that was in the first period, and was lights out after that. It was pretty much after that 40 minutes of shutout hockey for him. It was brilliant to watch, and this is a really exciting game and hopefully indicative of a great next couple of days.
So next up for Central America, they have the 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time slot tomorrow, taking on the indigenous team. Meanwhile, Puerto Rico will get Armenia in the nightcap tomorrow night at 8:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Be sure to do whatever math you have to do to figure out what that is in your time zone. That is what it will be here, local time in New Jersey. Next up, here on the Dream Nations Cup, Armenia and Egypt, Men's Division 1. And Dylan, you will have that one. So be sure to check our YouTube channel, Dream Nations Cup /live. And we will be able to find that one and the rest of the games throughout this tournament. Central America, your first winners of the Dream Nations Cup in 2025. Thanks so much for tuning in. And again, next up, Armenia and Egypt here on the Dream Nations Cup ice.